All about Scorpio, part 44, and it's already the Scorpio season. Happy birthday to my fellow Scorps out there. Yeah, I'm really excited for this month. My birthday's coming up pretty soon as well, on the 16th, so yeah. Anyway, let's get on with the birthday personality traits. We're gonna cover 5, 6, and 7. And again, I don't take credit for this. It's all the credit goes to trustedpsychicmediums.com. So pretty cool, pretty cool site, really. A lot of stuff you're gonna find there, and I just wanted basically to share it to you. So anyway, let's start off with November 5 zodiac. It says here, if you were born on November 5th, your zodiac sign is Scorpio, obviously. As a Scorpio born on this day, you are adventurous, energetic, and passionate. While money doesn't necessarily drive you, you tend to end up in positions where you end up making money. Funny how that works, right? The secret to your success is that you focus on your sense of possibility. You're not really driven by how much you can gain in terms of money. Instead, you focus more on the experiences that you're going to have, people you're going to meet, and most importantly, things that you would learn about yourself. These are the traits of somebody who will go far in life, because in most cases, the big projects, the big challenges, they require us to become better people. We go through a process, and the process changes us. You have exactly the right type of temperament and energy level to go through those processes. Not surprisingly, you draw a lot of people to you because they consider you some sort of a natural leader. Now for love, lovers born on November 5th are passionate, but they tend to be doubtful and impulsive. It's not uncommon for you to find yourself in a relationship where you ask yourself whether your lover really loves you. You also tend to have this annoying trait of proving yourself again and again and again. Oh. You need to understand that there is such a thing as unconditional love. When you get into a relationship, the person accepts you. Unfortunately, there are certain areas of your life that you are uncomfortable with and can't fully accept. Since you can only give what you have, it's very difficult for you to accept other people past a certain level of intimacy. Not surprisingly, your relationships tend to be short-lived and shallow. Ooh. Anyway, thankfully, there's somebody out there who's a perfect match for you. Your job is to keep your eye wide open, so you can recognize that person. Chances are that person would be a water sign. Career. People born on this day are very enthusiastic, confident, and have a bold vision. Not surprisingly, they tend to do well as entrepreneurs. You are able to see the possibility in any situation. Regardless of how seemingly depressing or bleak it may be, you always look at the bright side. This is not just you being optimistic. You're actually able to see the positive points of any situation that you can build success on. Not surprisingly, it doesn't come as a shock that a lot of people view you as a natural leader. They feed off your sense of possibility and the confidence that flows from that. You're able to motivate people around a common goal, and everybody ends up achieving more. Moving on to personality traits. You are known to be a great leader. However, you can be quite impulsive and impatient. You have to be on the lookout for these aspects of your personality. While your sense of possibility has a way of exciting people around you, your tendency to make abrupt decisions can often make people question you. To avoid unnecessary drama, make sure you consult with people that you're working with first. This is especially true regarding your romantic relationships. Now, what are the positive traits of the November 5 zodiac? You can be very decisive. You can identify an opportunity and give it everything you have until you turn that opportunity into a successful reality. You are a very driven person, and you can inspire people around you. You can also be quick-witted, and your decisions, while mostly made in haste, usually turn out to be right. Talk about lucky. Anyway, negative traits. You're very impatient with people and situations, and in many cases, this makes you a more successful person. However, when it comes to your love relationships, you tend to jump from one relationship to the other. It all starts out very hot and passionate, but eventually it cools down and annoys you, and then you move on. In many cases, you move on from relationships that you could have benefited more fully from. That person you were in a love relationship with could have been your life partner, but you did not give that person a chance. Ouch. Anyway, let me know if your birthday is November 5. I mean, I'm curious. Is it true? I mean, all of these things are. Is it true or not? I mean, it's quite interesting to to learn, because when I read my birthday personality, almost everything is pretty much accurate. And some of the people who actually check out the site told me that it pretty much describes their personality. So that's why I'm sharing this as well to you. Anyway, what are the top tips? You should avoid making impulsive decisions. You should be more consultative. Try to build a consensus. Also, you need to be more patient with your love relationships. Lucky color, that will be auburn. This color emanates courage, enthusiasm, and a sense of possibility. Lucky numbers 3, 7, 11, 24, and 13. And the final thoughts. Usually, being a decisive person is a great thing. However, when it comes to matters of the heart, you need to be more patient. You might be reading too much into a situation. Also, you might be acting primarily on emotional impulse instead of getting a realistic read of the person you're in a relationship with. Don't harm yourself or regret your decision by being so impulsive. Take a deep breath, think about it, and then decide. There you go. That's for November 5. Now I'm going to take a sip. Hold on. I'm just going to pause it, for a little while. Up to November 6th. So as a Scorpio born on this day, you are reliable, patient, persistent, and intensely loyal. You make for a very good friend. While you are very selective as to the people you allow to become close to you, once you decided to select a person as a friend, you can be a lifelong friend. By lifelong friend, we're talking about somebody who gives money freely and expects nothing back. It can also be a shoulder to cry on. Also, whatever secrets they tell you, you're locked forever. You're not a snitch. You're not a gossip. You are a very loyal person. You would even champion a friend that everybody has turned against and go down for that person. That's how intensely loyal you are. You're also very reliable and patient. Even if your friend turns against you and talks behind your back or somehow backstabs you, you give that person the benefit of the doubt until it becomes obviously clear that he or she doesn't want to be friends anymore. Wow, this is a pretty much mature Scorpio, huh? Your persistence, reliability, and patience are great things. The problem is they can easily stray into stubbornness. You have to remember that the big difference between being reliable, patient, and persistent and stubbornness is the amount of harm you're doing to yourself. You're being stubborn when you're being reliable, patient, and persistent to a fault. So know the dividing line, and you'll be a much more happier, successful, and effective person. Love horoscope. Lovers born on November 6th can be described as emotional doormats. I don't mean to say this in a negative way, but there's really no other way to say it. You are so loyal, patient, forgiving, loving, and accepting that you can easily become an emotional doormat. You have to remember that while you have a lot of love to give, there are many people on this planet that do not deserve that love. These are the people that would use you, abuse you, and worst of all, they would do it to your face. It's one thing to be stabbed in the back and have your loyalty betrayed. It's another to have somebody who gets a sadistic kick out of hurting you. Believe me, those people do exist. You have to understand this part of yourself, because you don't want to become some sort of martyr. You want to keep hanging on to somebody that is essentially toxic for your mental health and well-being. Do yourself a big favor and be more selective in who you choose to become close to. Unfortunately, this is easier said than done, because once you pick up on a few signals, you all go in. You tend to jump in with 4 feet and never look back. Believe me, this can be a recipe for emotional disaster. Career. People born on this day tend to climb the corporate ladder fairly quickly. Corporate culture tends to reward loyalty. Not surprisingly, it's very easy for you to get dragged up by fast rising stars in your organization. They can clearly see that you are a loyal, persistent, and reliable person. Not surprisingly, when they find themselves promoted to a new spot in the organization, they look to you as an asset that needs to be part of their team. A lot of people consider you lucky when it comes to money because you tend to attract the loyalty of very powerful and fast rising people. Wow, really? Your downside, however, is your emotional relationships. So, what are the personality traits? You are actually known to be reliable, secure, loving, giving, and loyal. Unfortunately, these can also be your negative traits. In the wrong context, these can work against you instead of for you. Still, these traits are so powerful. You possess these traits at such high levels that you attract the loyalty of people who will eventually become rich, powerful, and famous. Positive traits. You're extremely loyal. We're talking about loyalty that is ever giving, loving, and understanding. It seems that regardless of how screwed up your friend or lover is, you always find it in your heart to not just forgive them, but to provide for them. What are the negative traits? Be careful. People born on this day can be loyal to a fault. Be careful who you become loyal to. There are many people on this planet that are just toxic. These are the people you have no business being friends with, so I'm sorry. But unfortunately, they tend to be attracted to people like you because they feel that they can use you. Be on the lookout for these people. Otherwise, whatever success you could have achieved would be short-circuited and eventually, and even intentionally rather, sabotaged by these people. Alright, so what are the top tips for those with a November 6th birthday? You should avoid users, leeches, abusive people, and manipulators. Make no mistake about it, you have a lot to give. You're a very loyal and valuable person. Don't waste it on people that are toxic. Don't waste it on people who don't deserve it. Lucky color would be green. This color emanates relentless provision. And then the lucky numbers, that will be 25, 22, 12, 6, and 8. And the final thoughts, while you prize your loyalty and dedication, make sure that there are limits to it. Make sure you focus that intense loyalty only on people that deserve it. Be on the lookout for one-sided relationships. Be on the lookout for friendships that are in balance. I'm not saying that you should be friends with somebody because you can use them. All I'm saying is that you need to be aware that reciprocity, did I pronounce that right? Reciprocity is an important part of any kind of relationship. I'm quite guilty on that one, Before we move on to November 7, I'm quite guilty, That's the common problem that I have, although my birthday is November 16. But I tend to, I don't know why, but I tend to get mixed up with people who are actually pretty much the manipulative people. And it's funny because I'm also Scorpio, and Scorpios are known for being controlling and manipulative. But for some reason, I'm not totally that kind of Scorpio, And the problem is I sometimes get mixed up with people who are actually abusers, users and abusers. So that kind of hit hard on me as well, even though it's for November 6th. So anyway, we'll proceed to November 7. And I'm just going to pause this real quick while I sip my tea. Okay, off to November 7. So, if your birthday is November 7, you're actually courageous, warm-hearted, and patient. You are a very emotional person. You tend to look for alliances and relationships based primarily on emotions. You tend to make decisions based on hunches rather than, based on objective fact or logical reasoning. As crazy as this may sound, that kind of decision-making process actually leads you to making the right call more often than not. You have a lot of friends who make a big deal about that fact, that they're more objective, logical, and rational in their decisions. It turns out that you're more happier, more fulfilled, and more successful than them. Funny how that works, right? A lot of this has a lot to do with the fact that you know how to take the risks. You're also very warm-hearted and generous. People are drawn to this, and not surprisingly, you make the right alliances, which open many doors for you. While people struggle at the bottom to try to move up, people eagerly recruit you. Even if you're not looking for a job, people ask for you. Even if you're already in a relationship, people ask about your relationship status. That's how much demand there is for people like you. So for love, lovers born on November 7th are adventurous, warm-hearted, and courageous in their relationships. In many cases, You tend to be attracted to people who are not conventionally attractive. You tend to go beyond the physical and try to get a read of their soul. Not surprisingly, the romantic relationships you find yourself in tend to be very deep and in many cases really emotional in a good way. While you can go to extremes as far as your heart goes, you know where to draw the line. You've been hurt in the past and you use this as your relationship compass to ensure that you don't get hurt again. Ideally speaking, your best partners would be other water signs like Pisces and Cancer. For career, people born on this day are quite successful in all areas of life. But the one area that you should consider is finance. Whether we're talking about stock markets, stock analysis, or financial planning, your tendency to go beyond the four corners of an issue and look at emotional dimensions make you a great financial analyst. People are drawn to your financial advice. Interestingly enough, a lot of your advice is driven by emotion, by people who don't care. People have been steered in the wrong direction by otherwise objective analysts. They find your approach very refreshing and in many cases innovative. It will be very hard for you to stay unemployed for a long period of time. Now, what are the personality traits? You're known to be dynamic, warm-hearted, generous, patient, and courageous. People are normally drawn to you. Also, you're able to see promise in people that others tend to overlook. Others may dismiss a particular person, but you are able to see their full potential and cultivate and encourage it. Not surprisingly, people tend to be loyal to you because you have given them a shot while others dismiss them. With that said, there's a downside to your personality. You tend to be loyal to the wrong people. Positive traits, you're able to see value where other people only see risks. This applies to financial planning and stock analysis, but also applies to your friends and lovers. People tend to steer clear of certain people, but you're drawn to these people because you can see their full potential. You can see that with the proper nurturing. These people could actually be quite successful. They can actually change the world. For negative traits, you're loyal to a fault. In many cases, you tend to hand on to a situation far longer than you need to. In fact, you tend to be loyal to certain people who turn out to be very toxic and corrosive to you. This is especially problematic when it comes to your love relationships. Unfortunately, it's so hard for you to let go that it only takes physical abuse or something extreme for you to actually cut somebody out of your life. Wow, really? Ooh. You should be more realistic regarding the amount of credit you give to people. Some people simply cannot be trusted. Be at peace with that and then move on. Alright, top tips. You should avoid toxic people. You should be a more exacting judge of character. You should also invest your loyalty on people who deserve it. Lucky color, dark blue. It's all about integrity, loyalty, and confidence. And you have all of these traits in spades. Lucky colors. Yeah, lucky numbers rather. It's 2, 6, 15, 18, and 26. And the final thought, make sure you use risk analysis for your relationships, not just for your investment decisions. While you make for a great financial planner and risk taker, understand that relationships can be risky as well. You might be spending years with somebody that is essentially just dragging you down. Do yourself a big favor and cut out toxic people from your life. Oh my God, toxic people. Anyway, that's about it. So we've covered November 5, 6, and 7. It's actually November 1 here at Manila right now. And I'm so excited for the Scorpio season. I could really feel the Scorpio season. You know, our season is here, Scorps. Yeah. So anyway, I'd like to, before I actually wrap it up, I'd like to thank everybody who were, you know, actually checking out even the past videos that I've posted. Again, I'm just doing this for fun, and because my zodiac sign is also Scorpio. I believe my rising sign is Libra, and my moon is in Aquarius, and then my Venus is also in Libra. But anyway, I'm so excited for the Scorpio season, and I wish all of my fellow Scorpios out there a happy birthday. I'll see you again soon. I'll be posting again for sure because I need to catch up. We're already in the Scorpio season, so I'll see you again. We'll cover next time November 8, 9, and then 10. All right? See ya. Bye.